I don't know how well this is gonna turn out, but this is the test I'm running. I bought some 9.5 Magnum rifle primers. I bought a while ago a whole brick off a gun broker of the number 34 primers, for which I'm calling the CCI NATO primers. And then I bought a whole brick of the large pistol primers. And for these cast bullets here, for my little rifle here, I'm gonna see with the general. I'm not weight sorting bullets, I'm just pulling bullets out of my bucket here that are finished with this RCBS pistol competition measure, fluffed up as best I could get, at about 7.6, 7.7, 7.8. I haven't moved this dial here. It's just my stupid powder measure. If you let it sit without a wind protection, of course, because you know how am I gonna fucking attach a wind protection to this? It wants to go from 7.6, and then it weighs out to 7.7. If you let it sit to where it about shuts off, it weighs 7.8. So that's one of the things that needs upgraded in my system. Is this cheap little scale here. It gets me close enough to where I can be like, okay, well, I'm at this load. And with this scale, I did end up getting, you know, single-digit standard deviations and low extreme spreads with this, so it does work. I bought me another thing of tight group for $32.99. Got 2 pounds of it. Ended up buying off of a pawn shop next town over to me 7 more magazines for $6. But I'm gonna load 10 of these, 10 of these, and 10 of these. I already loaded, and I got my label maker out here. Since I have enough mags for this test, I'm just gonna load 10, approximately 10 in each magazine, label them, throw them in an ammo can, and then go test them. And I'm just gonna see if, with general purpose ammunition, you know, like some third world country will produce some shitty ammunition for the NATO alliances, like Portuguese or some dumb shit. I don't know. Oh, I'm not bashing no nation. I'm just saying some third world nation that doesn't care, just wants volume. Same basic principles. So the NATO stuff I buggered up earlier today. I'm not too concerned about its data per se, because I have basic data of that for velocity from my other videos. What I'm really worried about is these Remington Magnum primers, and then these Winchester large pistol primers. And I think I'm low enough of a peak pressure I can use these and get away with them and not make any difference. So what my ultimate goal is like, okay, if I get opportunity, say primers get scarce again, and I can only find large whatever, can I use them? And I'm pretty sure I can. I've shot large pistol and large rifle with like potatoes and earplugs out of them, out of like 45 ACP before. Like, I had an empty case of 45. I primed it with some pistol primers and some rifle primers and goofy shit, and shot like a little bit of a spud projectile with just a primer, and it backed the primer out quite a bit. I should have enough pressure that it should contain the primer within the primer pocket and expand it. What I'm concerned about is, if these are about 7.7 grains of tight group, and I could shake the piss out of them and hear all kinds of air room in it, what I'm wondering is if these Magnum primers light the powder charges just as well as, say, pistol primers, which both of these are rumored. Well, this is rumored not to have as much flash as, say, like this. because they're supposedly rumored not to have as much priming compound or a different priming compound. I don't know. This is the only element I can't really control on my own in a way, right? I just have to, hey, if it sets it off, it sets it off. The powder I can kind of control a little bit by doing huge lots. The primers, I don't think they're made well enough to really matter. But what I'm after is basically subsonic ball ammunition. And if I'm doing subsonic, there's no point in having any kind of jacket on the bullet. Next thing I'm going to try to do after I kind of exhaust all my options for easy testing without buying any extra equipment, the next thing I'm going to try to do is to take these mullets, probably because it'd be cheapest to do that, and take some Protec fish and lure powder coat, get a Cool Whip thing, let the dog on the fucking Cool Whip or some shit, let him eat it out so it doesn't get wasted. Take some of these 311 raws, 311 299 raw, and buy a Lee push through size knife so I can put gas check, and I'm going to try hot pink probably powder coating, and I'm going to go on Amazon and buy a toaster oven because my oven doesn't work. So I think I'm going to get into being a tweezer geezer with powder coating and see how they run, and see if they have any extra accuracy or what's going on, and really try it with and without gas checks and whatnot. And really it's unnecessary for what this is, but this will caveat off of this testing will caveat into my Romanian PSL for 200 grain 314 299. I'm going to get that mold or stick with this mold. It's basically the same mold. It's a 310.5 barrel, so I could stick with this. I can get a 311 Lee push through sizer kit, and run gas checks or no gas checks depending upon what my G3 testing is for this, and actually see about pushing it up to the slowest. I'd really like to go with these 200 grain 210 grain lead, softer lead, because I'm noticing they are kind of soft. The slowest I want to go with that PSL would be probably no less than 1700, and the fastest I want to go is no more than 2200 feet a second. If I can do it, we'll see what it lets me do. If I can get 200 grains, 210 grains approximately to go 2100 feet a second, that's actual service ammunition to me. That I would use that as surface ammunition out of that PSL, and I could make, a whole bunch of ammunition and use that for even out to 700 yards and figure that out. Then I could actually make my own bullets too, so I could do a whole bunch of culling and all kinds of stuff and make whatever I want out of it and just get some practice out of that PSL. But there's no point in doing subsonic loads for that PSL because there's no way I can actually put a suppressor. I done tried. The machine shops, the gun shops say that that barrel is not concentric enough. The inside bore diameter center line is not the outside barrel diameter center line. They're offset, and it's so thin of a barrel that if they were to take and make it concentric, there wouldn't be but a skosh bit of material to thread onto, and it would probably just about cut through the barrel trying to thread through it. They said it was bad enough. So yeah, I'm just going to stick with supersonic loads out of the PSL, and I've got that K&S piston on it, so I could close that piston all the way and see where it starts to cycle, see where it cycles reliably, and if it's not up to 2,000 feet a second, which would be skosh, which would be fucking perfect. If it's not up to 2,000 feet a second, I can start opening it up and bleed some of the gas off and see what the lead does and whatnot. But I'm going to stick with eBay lead, and I'm going to do a bunch of testing. I got a whole year's worth of testing to do, essentially, depending upon work schedule and what happens in life. So Anyways, thanks for listening to my TED Talk, I guess. Talk to you later.